Yesterday we learned about slope-intercept form, which was an equation of a line that's made of a slope and an intercept. Today we're going to learn about point-slope form of a line, which is called that because the line is made up of a slope and a point. Okay, so point-slope form of a line is y minus your y1 value, which comes from your ordered pair, equals m, which is the letter we use to represent slope, times x minus your x1 value, and x1 also comes from your ordered pair. So since it's made up of a point and a slope, we call it point-slope form. Okay, so if we look at 1a, we're given a slope of 5/2, or 5/2, and we're given a point of -3, 0. And we're asked to put this in point-slope form. Point-slope form, remember, is y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. You should have all written that down. So I know that m is 5/2. I'm going to make -3 my x1, and I'm going to make 0 my y1. So if I do that, then I get y minus my y1, which was 0, equals m, which we said our slope was 5/2, times x minus my x1, which was -3. After we plug everything in, we have to simplify. Y minus 0 is just y. That minus 0 doesn't really matter. We still have this 5/2 out front, and we know that minus a negative becomes a plus, so this becomes x plus 3. So y equals 5/2 times x plus 3. You can leave it in that form. You don't have to distribute. If I look at 1b, I'm given a slope of -7 and the point 4, 2. Using my point-slope form, y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1, then I know that my m is -7. I'm going to let 4 be my x1 and 2 be my y1. So if I plug that in, then I get y minus my y1, which was 2, equals my m, my slope, which is -7, times x minus my x1, which was 4. So my equation is y minus 2 equals -7 times x minus 4. The second part of this assignment asks us to graph equations in point-slope form, and so that requires us to think backwards. We're given an equation y minus 1 equals 3 times x minus 1. So it's in point-slope form, y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. So we know then, based on this equation, that my m is equal to 3. We also know that my x1 is equal to 1, and my y1 is equal to 1. So we're given a slope and a point. You always start by graphing the point that you're given. So I'm given the point 1, 1. So I go over to my graph and I go over 1, up 1 on my x and y axis, and I put a point there. The next thing that I know is that I have a slope of 3. And 3 is the same thing as 3/1. So that tells me that I'm going to rise 3 and run 1. So from this point that I already have, 1, 1, I'm going to go up 3 and over 1. If I do that, then I get my second point. Once we have 2 points on our graph, we can connect them with a line. Okay, one more. If I look at y plus 2 equals negative 1/2 x minus 3, I know that my point slope form of a line is y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. So I start grouping. I know that my m is equal to negative 1/2. I know that my x1 is equal to 3. And I know that my y1 is equal to this 2. But we have a problem because in this equation we have a plus, and this one we have a minus. So we know that we can break down a plus as being minus a negative. So I'm going to change this plus to being minus negative 2, which then makes my y1 negative 2. You always do the opposite of what the problem is telling you. So since this told me minus 3, the opposite of a minus 3 is positive 3. So my x1 becomes a positive 3. The opposite of a positive 2 becomes a negative 2. So your negative 2 is what your y value is. Once I have those, then I can graph them. Remember to start with your point. So on my x and y axis, I'm going to go over 3, down 2, and that's going to be my first point. Starting from that point, then I do my slope. And my slope, I notice, is negative 1, so I'm going to go down 1, over 2, so over 2. So from this point that I already have, I'm going to go down 1, over 2, and put another point. 2 points make a line, so I will connect them with a line. So you guys are going to be working on point-slope form today, both graphing and writing equations in that form. You are taking a quiz on it tomorrow, so please try to get your assignment done in class. Your assignment is page 272, 1 through 15.